Hello everybody, welcome to another Dark and Darker video. Today I'm going to show you how to earn money incredibly quickly in Dark and Darker doing hell runs solo as Ranger. Now this is my first ever run as Ranger, although I've played a ton of Fighter and it was a successful run, and this is a post commentary. I am using triple shot and I'm using the little meat or cookies or whatever they are to heal myself, because that's just honestly the best to start off with when you have no gear. And I'm also using the perk that allows me to draw my bowstring back 15% quicker. This spawn that I've spawned in happens incredibly frequently when you're playing solo for whatever reason. It just really loves to shove solos over here in this corner. And the spawn has a skeleton champion, which is really good. And you can come up here on this fence and cheese it. And the moment you get out of an area where it can't really reach you, it stops moving and you can just shoot it in the head over and over. So I'm going to speed up right through this real quick. A basic bow is going to take forever to kill something like this. This does also give you a chance to get a golden key. And I pick up the war maul here and the loot here, although honestly, neither of them are really worth anything. The war maul might go for 50 gold, but it's not worth the inventory space. And I do end up dropping them later. Also, going up on that fence does trigger the skeleton below. They don't seem to have any like vertical range to it. Their little like aggro circle is entirely up and down, and then it's just horizontal range, it seems. And I pick up this arming sword, and I didn't really think to drop the short sword at this point. Once again, I had never played Ranger before this point, and I will drop the short sword in just a moment. And the point of this being my first run is showing you I have no gear. I have no experience on this character, and this is just how easy this is. Once again, I have played Fighter, so I know how to use a bow, but this character is easy, and this method is incredibly easy. You just need to stay away from other people. And I'm clearing off this healing shrine here in case I need to come back later and get some health. Always nice to have that open. And the starting bow is so low damage that I resort to using melee a lot here in this run. Generally what I do if I'm actually, more than one run in is I will buy a blue longbow if I have access to trading, because you can get them for about 100 gold on average with bad rolls, and you will kill things so fast with a blue longbow. It is such a better weapon, and you earn money so quickly with this method that it's really negligible to be spending 100 gold per weapon. I also like to bring in 2 health pots and an invis potion, and I buy the super cheap health pots from the alchemist, not the more expensive ones, because it really doesn't make that much of a difference, but it's slightly helpful. And the invis potions are so you can get through the boss room in hell extremely easily, or if a geared team comes after you, you can invis in a corner and hopefully get away, although sometimes you're just dead. There's nothing you can do about it. Ranger also has an incredibly easy time getting away from enemies because you can place traps when people try to push you, and oftentimes that will dissuade them enough from pushing you. Now, luckily here, I got this spawn, which I would consider a pretty good spawn for a solo because there aren't many other players nearby. And then on top of that, I am within the circle. When 320 hits on the timer at the bottom right, you want to be within the circle. That way you can hear the dungeon portals spawning, the red portals. And on top of this being an incredibly good method to earn gold, it levels you up extremely quickly. I believe off of this run, I end up getting 2 levels and a half. So if you do this method, you could get to level 20 in, honestly, like 3 hours if you're really good at it. I'm not super good at Ranger, but I'm doing well enough that I can make this work consistently. This method also works on Fighter, but you need to have a bow and arrows. That's the main thing slowing you down. And it does not have triple shot, which will also slow down your DPS. This also works on Wizard, although I will tell you, Wizard's interact speed being so much slower than Ranger makes it incredibly difficult to actually clear through hell fast enough. And here, I'm just swinging my sword because I thought there was a rogue here, and there might be a rogue there, but I'm just gonna avoid. When you are a solo in a 3s map, anytime you get into a PvP encounter, you will generally lose. If I get into PvP, generally, I will take a pot shot at them just to hurt them a little bit and dissuade them from attacking me and run away. And even though we are going to hell on this run, you want to make certain to loot as much as you can, because this might get you invis potions, it might just get you some good sellables, and sometimes you can find good items on the first layer. And quite frankly though, oftentimes what I end up doing is just dropping a whole bunch of the lower end stuff I pick up once I go to hell in the meantime lobby, and then I just pick up better stuff. That is an elite skeleton on the floor, so I want to be a little bit careful here, but I mean, I've played plenty of high roller. It's just my weapon isn't very strong, so it's going to take me a second to kill it. And the shield skeletons can be pretty annoying with a bow because it can be fairly hard to avoid their shield, but you might be a better ranger than I am, or maybe not. You don't have to be very good for this method to work. It is an incredibly easy method on ranger. This strategy also works on Warlock, and Warlock can cheese the Lich boss solo, can kill the Lich boss all on their own solo. But the problem with Warlock, once again, is the interact speed is way too slow to get through the crypts normally. I have run into more dangerous situations on the crypts than I do generally in hell, because there's just not that many people in hell. And you guys saw there that I got stuck by the spiders. Obviously not optimal, not what you want to do, but there is a hell shrine in the next room I'm going into, so we're not going to have a problem. Or do I not go in the room with the hell shrine? What I should want to do here is go through the pots over there. If I go through the pots, I'll be in another room that has a hell shrine, and I'll be closer to the middle of the circle, and I want to be towards the middle of the circle at 320. That's when 2 sets of hell portals spawn in. And that gives me a really good chance of hearing one of them and finding it quickly and getting out of here. Okay, going through the secret tunnel. And if you're getting chased by people, going through one of these and placing a trap behind you is actually really effective. So if you have the perk that makes you place traps faster, it's really helpful actually for this strategy because it can help you avoid people. I would also recommend the enhanced hearing perk, but I don't like using that one because I'm not used to it. And if you're not used to it, you don't understand how far away people are when you hear certain levels of sound, and it can actually be less helpful than it is harmful. But if you use it all the time and play ranger all the time, honestly one of the best perks in the game for this type of strategy. Nice, we got a little green arming sword, and I'm using the hand crossbow here because I'm thinking, okay, what if someone pushes me? I can shoot him with a little bolt and get him to back off. Honestly, not the best idea because the hand crossbow slows me down. Honestly, nowadays, I just don't pick them up or don't put them on at least. And here are the dungeon portal spawns. I hear both of them spawning, but honestly, I can't exactly tell where they are. As they're spawning, as long as you have half decent headphones on, you can turn your head and you can generally pinpoint where they are. And once again, this would be a good reason for the enhanced hearing perk. Now, what you can do if you need XP is open all of these, but generally I would recommend opening just one. That way, if a team of 3 comes by and wants to go to hell, they will be dissuaded because they can't all go to hell and they're too scared to go down there with just 2 people. So I am kind of hurting myself a little bit by opening these because if someone absolutely has to and you know they're about to die instantly, they can go in this portal and fight me. But it's not the biggest deal ever. I just take one, generally just open one, but they do give quite a bit of XP. Now, when you're in the in-between lobby, you want to rest immediately if your health is down. And also what I do if I purchase a bow is I will go ahead and take the really crappy bow that I'm using right now and put it in my inventory. And it actually has a clip in it, like a gun. And you can just shoot it out at the wall and pick up the arrows and then drop it for some free arrows. Really nice strategy, really helps out in saving costs at the beginning. And quite frankly, I do it anyways, even if I have thousands of gold. Now, this spawn I'm at is one of the easiest spawns. You can get through this spawn as any character in the game with basically no past experience other than knowing how to kill elite skeletons. And so I got pretty lucky here, although it is one of the worst loot spawns. Ranger can take any spawn just fine, and generally he actually wants the harder spawns so that he can kill the stronger enemies, which will drop purples. Sometimes they can even drop golds from what I understand, but I haven't seen one yet. And if you roll enough purples, eventually you'll get some god roll items that you can sell for 1,000 gold each. And that's how you make most of your money with this. As well as pickups, you're going to earn about 200-300 gold per run. And I missed that shot there. Not a good time to be missing my shot. And you can just see how little damage it does here. I have to use part of this like spear damage from this other skeleton to end up killing that one. And to avoid these, generally, I try and just stay away. You can kind of jump over their spear or sidestep them if they're poking forward, but spear ones are definitely more difficult to dodge than the sword ones are. Slight upgrade on my ranger hood. Doesn't really make much impact. Honestly, I could have skipped that and it wouldn't have made any difference on the run, but I do it anyways. And then I'm checking if that hand crossbow is better than mine. And once again, speed is of the essence here, especially if you spawn outside the circle, but I am within the circle on the spawn, so I'm doing pretty well. And every chest you check has a chance to spawn blues in it. I've even found purples in just the regular chests, and Lionhead's chests are really good. And then on top of that, there's a lot of gold chests that spawn on this map. Now, the thing with that is that they are always locked, so you need to bring lockpicks, and I would recommend if you can get them for less than 30 gold a lockpick, and you're doing, you know, your slightly geared runs with your blue longbow, I would go ahead and bring a lockpick as well, because the gold chests on this map, I get an average of like 100 to 200 gold worth of loot out of, and I get out on these runs about 70% of the time. I don't always end up making it to hell. Sometimes I get forced to take a blue portal, but it just really is worth it to take that extra lockpick. Red spiders, never fun. They just have so much health, but this room has a lot of pots in it, which means I'm going to get a lot of pickups if I break this room. But I have to make it over to that pot, and my damage just isn't very high. Keep in mind, if you hit their legs, you will do less damage. Their thorax, you do more damage on, and their head, you do even more damage on. I generally aim for the thorax because the head is kind of hard to hit. But you will see that on some of them, I hit the legs over and over, and I have to end up doing like 3 or 4 hits. Try and aim for the thorax if you can't aim for the head. It depends on your weapon choice. Gonna drop the war maul here. And no, not dropping it yet. The war maul actually has half-decent rolls on it, but quite frankly, the war maul is just not a very good weapon still. It's not horrible, it's just not very good. And it takes up a lot of space, so generally not worth it to pick up unless it has god rolls on it. And with the arming sword, you can break these barrels, but with the short sword you start off with, you cannot. I would recommend, if you have a chance to pick up an arming sword, do so. Once you're level 20, or I should say level 15, the spear perk is also very good. I don't like using it, though, because, quite frankly, it just uses up an extra perk slot, and that means I'd have to buy a spear for it to be worthwhile, and I don't want to spend that money. And you saw there that I picked up a lockpick, which is very helpful. That will help me later on or in another run with a big chest that I find. And the circle is spawned basically as far away from me as it possibly can, and I'm trying to get towards the inner part of the circle. Hell is designed for teams of 3. Do not forget that. Although they have lengthened the amount of time you get in Hell, you still have to clear quite quickly if you want to get through. And do not go slowly. I pick up a blue Chapel Day Fur there. Not exactly the best helmet for clerics, but worth picking up still. And a blue bangle is like 20 gold, so that's great. Always love the pickups. And this room over here has a Hellhound in it. So what you do is you drag the Hellhound, close the door on it, and you can close it well before it gets over to you as long as it's aggroed, and you can just slap it through the door like this. And sometimes you do got to come back up to it. Keep in mind they can hit you through the door as well. So you want to stay back from the door and just keep slapping them. You can also shoot them with a bow. If you have a stronger bow, I generally like to do that, because you just want to kill things as fast as possible. And now we get a Castilian dagger with +2 physical power. That'll sell for like 50 gold. It's not great, but it's worth picking up. And I see the demon berserker over there, and I think about attacking him, but then I'm also thinking the circle is moving in, and I don't actually have enough time to kill him with this level of bow. If I had a blue longbow, I'd probably go for it, because they're pretty easy to kill just by backing up over and over through long hallways. But my damage is just so low, it's not worthwhile. So I'm going to run through the zone here, go down these stairs, and I'm just going to go over through the boss room and try and make it out of here. Going through the boss room without an invis potion is very dangerous. What you want to do is have an invis potion, and then you can run past, and once you get past the torches, you can drink the invis potion to de-aggro, but I'm just going incredibly quickly here to the next room over and getting past. Okay, and I need to kill the skeleton. Luckily, I've already de-aggroed the boss, so I can go here. And these extra mobs mean there are more players in the lobby. These mobs are not from the boss. That means other players have dragged those mobs in. I'm kind of just trying to leave it alone so that the mobs can kill the other player, because other players are extremely dangerous in hell. I also don't want to kill the skeleton behind me because, quite frankly, I don't have much room to dodge here, and it's incredibly dangerous, and I'm not within the circle still. Okay, there's a portal over there that I see, although I do know that there are other players around, which is quite scary. Closing the door behind me. This room is incredibly dangerous normally, but it seems someone else has already dragged the hellhounds away and killed them, and I'm just opening this portal. I would like to loot some more. We have this guy here. We're gonna steal his gems. And there's a hellhound coming for me, and I'm gonna slap it a couple times. And that is a gargoyle as well. I don't want to fight both at once, although they are both quite easy to dodge. Combined, they're not the best. So I'm out of here. And there's still a wizard alive, and it looks like both his buddies died in hell. So here I am, level 3 with 12 XP, and this is my inventory. Now let's go and sell this stuff to the collector and see how much we get. Now, any of these gray items, when you're in between, you want to just drop on the ground so that you can loot quicker, because you will get enough loot. And I made like 200 gold here plus a couple items. This is not the best run ever because I didn't get to kill that many strong enemies. And quite frankly, those items are not the best ever. The Chapel Day Fur will sell for like 50 gold. Honestly, could have kept the dagger and sold it later as well, but I wanted the gold here so I can spend some. And I have these potions of clarity, which I should also take off, but I forget to. The campfire is fine to keep. I wouldn't want the hand crossbow again. Okay, now let's go ahead and run another hell run. So we're going to go ahead, and you want to shoot these flies first when you get this spawn, because they will poison you and they do some damage. This room is actually incredibly easy and an incredibly good spawn, but with lower damage, it can be kind of annoying, and I'm on complete default kit here. And what you want to do here is just shoot the gargoyles before they get to you, and if they do get to you, what you want to do is drag them into your spawn room, and you can sidestep them and melee them over and over. At the time, I did not know this, so you're going to see me going about this in an incredibly slow way, but that's fairly normal for someone who's pretty new and getting into this. Once again, this is just showing off how easy this method is, because someone who's very new to the method can completely mess these things up and completely avoid all of these dangers. Okay, this gargoyle is coming after me. And he's coming into this room. I triple shot him just to get some damage, and I'm sidestepping him here. This is good. I do get hit there because I mess it up. I should have just engaged in that room, but I'm kind of wanting to shoot him from the side, which is not the best. And here, I don't get hit by him, but I get hit by the spike trap behind me. Luckily, I have my little things I can eat. I only have that one left, but I can still eat it, and now have enough to tank another hit if I need to. And now it's stuck on top of the room, and I can't use this triple shot that I pulled, so I'm going to cancel it if I remember correctly. Close this door, and I want to fight it from this door over here. I'm going to sit for a second, get my health back. Honestly, if I were to do this again, I would drink that health potion first, because time is of the essence when you're doing this. And you can just hear the thing flapping on top. These things do not actually have all that much health. They have a little bit more health than like a basic skeleton does. Their main problem is that they can fly at you wherever, and if you have multiple mobs on you at the same time, they get really annoying because they can make the situation incredibly dangerous, and they can also push you when they attack you. So if you're like safe spotting another enemy, they can knock you off and get you killed incredibly quickly. That is not what we're running into here, though. We just want to kill this guy. There's no other enemies really around that are dangerous, and I can just melee him to death. Trying to figure out which way I want to go about to shoot him. I kind of want to get him stuck on something and then just shoot arrows at him. Okay, we're shooting some arrows at him. And once again, trying to sidestep him. I pull out my sword here and figure out the sidestepping. I hadn't learned about the sidestepping yet. And he's dead just like that. Once again, these are full basic weapons. Horseman's axe with +1 strength. The gargoyles can drop very good items. I should call them demon bats, actually, but they can drop very good items. It's just not that common. I do worry about this other gargoyle over here, so I go ahead and I attack it because I don't want it coming up behind me as I attack other strong enemies. and I want to light up the area because I can't see, like, anything. I think I'm going to light this up extra in post because this game is so dark, but just keep in mind, it is extremely dark for me. I can barely see anything. And this is the strategy I was looking to do before on that other one, is just peek for a second and shoot an arrow at it. And I think he gets past here. Nope, looks like we're still doing just fine. And let's triple shot him. This is where he gets past. And he's incredibly close to dead. Just need to smack him a couple times. And I know he's incredibly close to dead. He'd be closer to dead if I had headshotted him. But we're fine. Let's get our arrows back. We really need those arrows back because we don't have many. And now there's a centaur in this next room that you can cheese by getting him stuck behind this gate. He can stab you through the gate, so watch out and stand back. Yep, just like that, he can stab you through if you stand too close. And eventually he just stops and lets you shoot him in the head. And centaurs are where you will get the majority of your good items. That and lion's head and gold chests. So you really want to kill centaurs whenever there is an easy cheese option available. However, they are extremely strong and they will outrun you, so you can't just back up over and over to kill them. You do want to actually have a cheese spot available. And I have such a weak bow here that this is taking an incredible amount of shots just to kill him. I'm trying my best. You want to use your triple shot when you are down on 0 arrows. I'm just trying my best to kill this guy. I'm wondering if I'm even going to have enough arrows to kill him here, and I might have to hit him with my short sword. But I end up killing him on the very last arrow I have, and then I can retrieve my arrows, and I get a padded tunic and some heavy leather leggings with plus weapon damage. I'll put those on because that's really helpful. And I want to loot this chest over here because chests in hell can have very good items. They're like high roller chests. And I get some heavy boots. Those are a slight upgrade at the end of the day, so I'm going to put those on. Now let's open up this lever. This next room over here that centaur is in has incredibly good cheese spots and incredibly strong enemies that give you very good loot. But I see a warlock already cheesing the enemies, so I start shooting at him because, quite frankly, ranger beats up a warlock any day of the week, especially at this range. And how is he supposed to get to me? There's enemies in the way, so I can just spam him out from this distance and hopefully kill him. And then he drops down into the muck over there. He can very quickly get out of the muck to a safe spot away from me, but he can't keep killing the enemies. I am getting inched in by the circle, and a portal spawns over there. Okay, that's great, but there's a whole bunch of strong enemies in the way. This torch you used to be able to cheese on, but you cannot do that anymore. They have removed it from the game, and I think they will continue to remove cheese spots from the game and upgrading enemy arrow. And you see those barrels down there at the middle. The warlock is down there, and I really want him dead because he's extremely dangerous to me despite not attacking me yet. Because he could drag mobs on me, cast a hellfire at me, cast a curse of pain on me, and just absolutely screw me over. So what I'm going to do here is this is his only way to get up and out of there. I'm going to place a trap. And in hindsight, I should have placed a second trap here, and you will see why. I should have trapped both the spots he could jump up at, because I end up not catching him in the trap when he tries to get out. Now I'm going to beat the crap out of this wraith as I keep listening for him behind me, because I have to clear some things out if I actually want to get loot here, and it's not like I came in with any items anyways. Okay, we get a warden outfit with, quite frankly, horrible rolls, and an occultist tunic with horrible rolls as well. Both of these would sell for very little, but I picked them up anyways. And you see me take this survival bow here. This is because I'm thinking I might run out of arrows, and I'd rather have something rather than nothing. However, survival bows are terrible. The lion's head chest is picklock. If you have a lockpick and there's no gold chest available, you will want to picklock a lion's head chest if that ends up happening. Lion's head chests also have incredibly good items in hell. Okay, and to get the enemies to fall down, you have to bait an attack like that, otherwise they won't fall. And the warlock jumps up here, and he's trying to run out the back, which, okay, sure, might work, buddy, but he's thinking, wait, no, that's not going to work. And I either hit him or the demon berserker there. He has arrows in him. I'm trying to kill him so badly. I have no extra things to eat here, and I want him dead so badly so I can take this portal. I'm just trying to get out here so I don't insta-die, and he gets messed up by the demon berserker. And now I actually lose on this run, and I'm going to show you how you can very quickly lose by getting too greedy. I could have left there 10 times over, but I'm like, I want this guy's loot. And then I get smacked when I'm about 20th of a second away from extracting. And I would have extracted with a couple hundred gold worth of loot. Wasn't the best run ever. If I had already had some, plus all attributes items or anything like that, I definitely would have left with them. Here's another run where I'm going to hell, but I'm opening up the hell portal and a ranger comes to shoot me. This time I actually have some gear on. I have a blue longbow and I believe a couple other items on, but it's mostly just the blue longbow. And this guy is ungeared, probably doing the same strategies I am. You can see his invis pot. And he is absolutely messing me up, has better cover than I do. And he's hitting me more often than I'm hitting him. But he's ungeared and I'm geared. So what ends up happening here is I mess him up super badly because a blue longbow will beat a gray recurve bow any day of the week, even if I'm playing significantly worse. And he eats a piece of the meat there, or the cookies, or whatever they are, and I just beat the crap out of him. He shouldn't have ran from his cover. He could have stood just back there, and I really had no way to get away from him. And now I get some free gear upgrades from him, which is great. And that's why I like bringing gear in. And you can see here that I am leveled enough that I have all the perks on that I want, and that helps out a lot as well. But once again, this strategy works without all that. You might be looking at all those bows I have in my inventory. That's me using the strategy that I was talking about earlier, where I shoot out the arrows that I just get from bows in between lobbies. So I'm going to rest here because when you get moved into the next lobby, you actually get your red health reset. So you want to use that as quickly as possible. And then once I get my red health back all the way, I go ahead and I pick up one of these bows and I'm going to shoot out all of its arrows. You want to triple shot as quickly as possible and then just shoot everything out of it as quickly as possible. And do not reload the bow. You are taking the arrows from the bow and dropping it on the ground. That is the point. I saw that I'm getting sent to the next floor earlier than I had hoped for, and I just threw the bow down, put my sword on, and get ready to go. Okay, I'm making certain that I get my health up as much as I possibly can here because you do not want to be running around in hell without full health. Using a health potion because I don't want to use my snacks. And I go ahead and I rearrange my inventory some more. This is also something I do in the lobby in between oftentimes. Okay, and I have the spawn here next to the demon centaur, but this is kind of annoying because I don't really have a spot to cheese him here. So I'm trying to figure out, how could I cheese him? I'm going to take a look over here. And this room is also not good to cheese him from. So really what I would recommend you do with this normally is shoot the centaur if you get this spawn, drag him into your spawn room, and then run out of the spawn room, and then go ahead and close him in there. What I end up doing is pulling this lever so I can use the cheese spot over here by the wraith, which takes a while, and also gets me attacked by everything on the map. Not the best idea I've ever had. This little step over here where we shot the warlock the last time is one of the best cheese spots, but with the centaur, you do have to jump each time he attacks. So if you get over here and you want to cheese the centaur like this works, but you have to jump every time he attacks, otherwise you will get hit. And you're seeing I'm getting absolutely rolled. I'm trying to avoid him, but he does kill one of the hellhounds for me. It is very possible to just keep dodging him there, but I'm going to go to the easier cheese spot, which is right over here. And I don't know where the centaur has gone off to. I think he's in the middle blood pool, actually. He fell in there when he tried to attack me, which is great because otherwise I probably would have died here. And because I have this blue longbow, I kill things incredibly quickly, and I've already dragged the entire map on me. If another player attacked me here, I would be absolutely screwed. I have no way to avoid, and that is why you don't want to do that. And you can see the centaur pokes his little arm past back there, so he's definitely down below, below the lion's head chest there, and I can shoot him. That lion's head chest there, by the way, you do not have to go up on that platform to get that. There is a spot you can crouch over and grab it from right around where I am. You can see the step on the right. The second one up is the one you get on, and you can just crouch over and get really close to the edge and grab it. Okay, grabbing some items here. That Chris dagger will not sell for anything, but I'm just grabbing items rather than thinking about it, which I would recommend you do as well if you have an empty inventory, because you need to go fast in hell. And I decided to beat this one up with my arming sword. Honestly, would probably be faster with just the bow here because I have a blue longbow. And this was before the weapon nerf, and it seems like I've decided that at this point. And yep, just want to shoot him in the head like this over and over, because with that arming sword, I'm just getting body shots over and over and not even hitting all the shots. And I can get all of my arrows back here. Killing this Wraith also gives you access to 2 big chests. Keep that in mind, so you really want to do that. And I have a gold chest over there, and I get a cloak off the Wraith. It has really bad rolls, but I get a cloak off the Wraith, and a cloak is worth money. I'm gonna pick the lock on this gold chest here, and I go ahead, I get a ring of survival, cool, bandage, blue potion of protection. So those last 2 items are the ones that can be your very good items, and they rolled badly on this one. Doesn't mean it wasn't worth opening still, it was definitely worth opening. And now I wanna kill that centaur because it has incredibly good loot. I also wanna open up these big chests because while they're similar to the normal chests, they have a lot of loot in each of them, so I definitely want to loot those. This room is just one of the overall best rooms to spawn in, and just has a ton of loot in it. I didn't play it appropriately, but I'm still coming out just fine. You don't have to play perfectly to win big with this strategy. Now, if you wanted to do this in High Roller, you would have to play perfectly because all of the enemies would probably one-shot you. But there is an upgrade option there, and you'd probably get plenty of golds and purples out of it. A demon dog went ahead and killed another person there, which lets me know, okay, there are other people in the lobby, but they're probably not good. Always something good to keep in mind. And then I want this Zweihander here because I think it might be worth something. Probably worth like 50 or 100 gold, but honestly, not really worth the pickup. And I'm getting some blue survival bows here, which is honestly very sad. And I was trying to do the cheese there on the lion's head, but I decided it wasn't worth the health. It definitely was worth the health in hindsight, but hindsight is 20/20, and you can't exactly think about all the aspects of the game when you're playing, and you won't always play 100% perfectly. You don't have to. And you can see in my inventory there, I have an invis pot, which I think I use later to get through the boss room. Going through the boss room is actually one of the safest rooms to go through, because there's just that one enemy to avoid. Or the one enemy and his minions. Yep, you can see I put my invis pot on here. You still want to put away the invis potion whenever you run into things like that. And I get shot by the skeleton archer over there, and it almost killed me. But I go ahead, I eat a snacky. And we have the skeleton warlord, I think he's called here, which is the most dangerous one to run past. If he does the blue things on the floor, avoid them. They will cause you to get trapped. There was a minion in the corner there. I used invis. It despawned everything. The boss is no longer aggroed on me. I have no health left. 2 people are now dead. So probably a full 3-man came in here with me, and 2 of them are now dead. So I need to keep an eye out for another person here, but I have no health. I cannot take a fight here. I will take the soonest portal I can possibly grab. But do keep in mind, these players are not good. And then we see the 3rd one up there. He dies to a skeleton spearman because he doesn't know how to play in hell. This is the easiest room in all of hell, and yet they still died to it, which is free loot for me. I love it when there are players who don't know how to fight hell in hell. They're free loot. And there's nothing wrong with that, by the way. You should go to hell even when you don't know how to do it, because that's how you learn at the end of the day, but they're just free loot for me until they learn. I use the blue potion of protection here, which honestly I would have rather used the other one, but not dying is more important than which protection potion I use. Blue protection potions will go for about 50 gold. If you have purple ones, you can sell them for even 100 or 150. People who are going for the high roller leaderboards really love those, and they really want the high ranking ones. And we got portals spawning here. There's a really good room for me because it's really free, and there's dead bodies all over, which I want to loot because they're extra loot for me. This does happen to me in about 1 out of 5 hell runs where there will just be dead bodies I get to loot for free and there's nothing fighting me on them, which is great, but don't expect it in every game. And I'm trying to clear out up top here because a portal spawned up there, but I'm also hearing another portal spawning, and now I'm thinking, I actually want to loot that guy. Maybe he has some health pots. Okay, let's see. He does not have any health pots, but he does have some pickups in his inventory, including a blue felling axe. And I decide, okay, let's screw the Zweihander. The barbarians really like their felling axes, so I'd rather get that. And I'm going to try and move some items over so I can pick up the felling axe. And now I'm looking for the higher ranking items here so I can earn more money off of this guy. pick up a couple items, and now I'm just going to look to clear some more up top. That will both get me some more XP, which I don't need at this point anymore, remember? And on top of that, gives me more portal options. A portal has spawned down below over here, if I remember correctly, which I end up using to get out, because why would I go up top when I can just use the one below to leave? And remember, when you are leaving the game, the only health point that matters is the last one. There really isn't any point of healing unless it's going to allow you to get out that escape portal. And I just leave. And I got out. And that run made me about 400 gold. Wasn't exactly the best run ever. Let's go and look at another hell run. This is another one of the best room spawns, but generally the circle will not spawn on you here. I don't know why, but the circle spawned right on top of me, and this basically never happens. But I love it when it does happen. Now, one thing I didn't know about this room is there's 2 big chests that spawn up by that health shrine. If I were to do this again, I would definitely go up there and loot those as well as I'm doing this, but I do not end up doing that in this run. Normally, that health shrine is not something worth going after because you will have the circle moving in on you by the time you get over to it. Even in a 3-man, like, it's very difficult to clear fast enough. And the zombie here spawned a poison cloud. You generally want to kill them before they spawn the poison cloud, but I couldn't do anything about it this time. I take those padded leggings with spell capacity because sometimes clerics will buy those because they want Resurrect on or Sanctuary or something. But honestly, the best it would ever sell for is 50 gold, so it's not worth very much. But I don't have very much in my inventory to start with right now. I kill this demon dog over here, and I want to continue clearing things out over here. Try and shoot this bat, and you can shoot through these grates. It's just very difficult for me to hit this one in this very specific spot. And I'm wasting arrows on him, and I'm like, screw it. I was hoping that was an actual colored spellbook, because spellbooks are worth a lot always. Even a white one you can sometimes sell for gold in the trade chat if people are really down bad on spellbooks. But a blue one is generally worth 100, and a purple one you can oftentimes get 300-400 gold for. And if it has good rolls, it's possible to get even like 1,000 gold for those. So that is one of those items you really want to be purple, or even better if you could get one of those. But, you know, RNG is RNG. Now I am killing the wizard here. The wizard is actually like a high-ranking mob still because it is an elite, which means it has a chance to drop capes and all sorts of other fun stuff. The red shield here does some level of protection, like 80 or 90%. It is possible to damage through it, but I generally will not keep attacking. And magic seems to go through it more. I'm not 100% certain if that's actually true. There hasn't been much research on it yet, but I don't generally shoot at things when they have the red bubble on. And I'm going to kill these skeletons over here because I'm thinking, okay, these are archer skeletons. They have a chance to drop bows, and I'm playing ranger. Gear from my own class that I don't have to trade away. Some more blue longbows would be great. Some more arrows would be great. Let's go ahead and go up here. Okay, gonna shoot this guy. And you can see there's a gold chest up there. I don't believe I have a lockpick on me this time. If I do, I was very foolish to not go up there and grab that. And I get some more arrows that I was desiring. You really want enough arrows that you're not going to have to be thinking about them when you're fighting stuff, because it will slow you down. And then there's another recurve bow there. If I needed to, I could shoot that out. And I do end up going up top. Are these both just locked? Is that... Yes, that's what happens. Okay, they're both locked, so I don't get the loot from them. If I had lockpicks, I would be getting a lot of loot from over there. I wish I had brought lockpicks, but oh well. So next what I'm going to do, because I have the circle here and I have so much time, is, well, after I kill this demon bat, is I'm going to drag the demon centaur from the next room, because demon centaurs drop really good loot. And so I'm going over here, reloading first. I want to grab this chest. And leather caps are oftentimes pretty good on ranger. I'm thinking about what to do here. I'm going, oh, okay, I could kill the centaur probably. Let's go ahead. And I want to shoot him here. And I drag him back this way. Now I need to get him to attack here so he falls off, because I don't want to be sitting in the blood. And I'm going to run over to the other side. This is the other spawn, by the way. And I jump up here. And he's breaking these chests for me, so I don't even have to open them. And I just go ahead, shoot him in the head over and over, because he can't get to me anymore. And another person does die. I can't tell if that's like a solo who got forced in here, but they are dead. That means I have another chance at getting some free loot. I'm going to drop an item here and go ahead and pick up these plate pants with +2 weapon damage that are blue. Those, I believe I ended up selling for like 150 gold or so. Pretty good pickup. Now, I just want to keep looting this room and getting all the loot out of it possible. And the circle is still really in my favor. This is an incredibly lucky run. Keep that in mind. And this is also a run that ends up being over 1,000 gold. I do end up getting an incredibly good item in just a little bit here that you guys will see. Now, I had those rawhide gloves in here, but reinforced are better on ranger. Rawhide are for like wizard. Okay, now this room also has a whole bunch of higher tier mobs. It has a couple of demon dogs and a couple demon berserkers. And it also has a mage up top, I believe, but I didn't get to kill that. So I'm going to drag out the demon dogs. Do keep in mind if a nightmare variant of one of these spawns, every time you shoot it, it will hurt you. So if your health is going down and you're not getting hit by anything while shooting one of these, keep that in mind. And there is the god item. Okay, we got a Castilian dagger with +1 all, I believe, +2 physical power and +1 move speed. That I ended up selling for 350 gold. I just put it in the trade chat and I was like, offer, because I had no idea what it was worth. Might have been able to sell it for more, but I was quite happy with 350 gold. It is a god item. That is an incredibly good roll. You will get quite a few of those, though, if you do these. I get one every 4 runs doing this because you get so many purple items. And sometimes blue items can have really good rolls, too, and have god rolls. That's how you end up making the money. I killed the dragonfly because I don't want it to come over and mess with me. And now I want to loot this chest, and I get attacked by a mimic here, really annoying. At this time in the game, there seemed to be something messed up on the back end where there was way too many mimics spawning, especially from big chests, which was odd, but wasn't the biggest deal ever. Now I'm going to drag the demon berserker, if I remember correctly. Oh yeah, I try and go up top here, which I didn't know there were skeletons up here. And I end up needing to kill the skeletons. I really wanted to kill the demon berserker and just jump down and up those stairs over and over to kite him, but I end up using a different method. Okay, kill the skeleton. You really want the spear ones gone. You really want the axe ones gone. Axe ones you kite to the left to avoid, but they can be incredibly annoying. That was just a regular one. Pretty rare spawn in hell for one to be regular. Just as rare as a nightmare, as far as I understand. And there's another skeleton up top still who's kind of aggroed on me. I can't tell if he's actually aggroed on me or if he's de-aggroed, but I want to get rid of him. Because I don't want to be fighting 2 enemies at once. One demon berserker is hard enough. And I whiff every shot here because the head wiggles back and forth on these and it's really annoying as a ranger. But you just got to roll with the PvE at the end of the day. This game's not supposed to be easy. It's supposed to be hard. And now we go ahead. We shoot this demon berserker. You want to hit as many headshots as possible. Remember, they are way, way more damage when you headshot. But a body shot over a miss is way better. And we end up using all our arrows. Use the triple shot. Don't be worried about the zone if you have a portal nearby and you've still got health left. I've still got 2 snackies, I'll call right there, and I'm just going to drag him through here because I already know this room is completely cleared. So I'm not in any danger, and I have plenty of options. If I need to use them, I can jump down over to here, which this is the normal spawn here, and you get to cheese stuff extremely easily from that ledge there because nothing can get to you. And then I go ahead. I get a cloak off of him. Nice. It has a +1 strength on there. The strength cloaks always go for more. And I'm thinking about how I can pick up my arrows here, but I end up deciding they're not worth grabbing because I can just buy more arrows. And everything I have in my inventory is worth more. So I'm just going to open up the escape portal here. And don't let that red bar fill all the way to the top at the bottom right because you get greedy. Don't let that happen. And I'm going to leave. I could have broken a barrel or 2 if I wanted to grab more loot, but I just wanted to get out. And then here is one more screenshot. This was my best run I've ever had. This one I got 1,800 gold off of. I got 3 capes because I opened up a couple golden chests. I brought in a couple lockpicks. And all of those items in there are blues. And they're good rolls. Everything sold for over 100 gold there.